This is the Hidden Killers podcast with Tony Brueski,
featuring former FBI Special Agent and Chief of the Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, Robin Dreeke.
From your experiences, how common have you seen any sort of allegations like this of jury tampering from the clerk of courts of all people in not only just a high-profile case, but in any case? This seems to be a very rare occurrence in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, the public servant, the clerk, was not serving the public, serving themselves, and it completely undermined the case.
And with that being said, just how if these allegations are in fact true, and given what we know about South Carolina law, and hell, there's even in the song, "Don't go trusting your soul to a backwoods Southern lawyer." We're not talking the lawyer here, although Alec Murdaugh certainly fits the bill in that song. But the clerk of courts, this is part of the actual structure of the court system. This is part of the infrastructure that seeks to find justice, guilty or innocent, of anyone. Should there be a further investigation into the rest of this machine there in South Carolina, all the way, and I'm not accusing anybody, but all the way down to judges, to anybody involved in this process? If we have this level of misbehavior going on with this one person, one has to wonder if there's more of a culture of this going on, of everyone looks the other way and we're going to get done what we think is right, not necessarily what the jury or the law deems right.
I think you're absolutely right. I think we talked about it before too, or much earlier on, about the system. It's not just him, because he seems completely unfazed by the fact that he's behind bars. Why? Yeah, that should be very disconcerting. And the fact that this clerk's book seemed to be out before he even had his first meal behind bars. Yeah, it was like, where's the leadership? So that kind of going to your point, when things start going sideways at such a catastrophic level, and I think this is catastrophic. I think this is such an egregious, horrendous thing to happen, and it's because there's no leadership. Cavalcante, the recent convict murderer that just got recaptured in Pennsylvania, he was recaptured because you had strong leadership from the lieutenant colonel from state police, Bivens, that exercised strong leadership to capture him. But the reason he got out, leadership at that prison was horrible. The county jail, county lockup, they had just gone through a leadership shakeup where the prior warden was relieved, put on admin leave, and a new person brought in. And next thing you know, the second prisoner in about 5 or 6 months gets out the same exact way. Leadership. And so when you look at this situation, you fast forward it down to South Carolina, how can a public servant publish a book that fast and be involved in this case, and not even, regardless of whether she did or didn't do jury tampering and all that? Let's look at that. She published a book about a case that just happened. Yeah. How did it get in her mind that's appropriate right now? It came from on top. That behavior was okay. Yeah. It didn't second cross her mind. And which means it didn't second cross anyone else's mind about how to benefit, how to utilize the system for personal gain. Because that's what the leadership down there is saying. At some shape or form, because that's what Murdaugh did. That's what all these people down there are doing. How can I utilize this system for personal gain? That's the culture that's been infused, I think. And it just makes you wonder, how deep does it go? Where do we see it in people that get caught, it seems, there? And then once they get caught, as we saw in the world of Alec Murdaugh, oh, look, there's a lot of people surrounding this person that are also engaged in bad acts, and everybody just seems to look the other way, and it's just kind of how it goes, and that's how it is. That's what making me wonder is, okay, once we start investigating this lady, what type of tentacles does she have within this courthouse? I was also, I was kind of surprised by her demeanor the other day as well, when walking back into the courthouse for her job. Just the nonchalant, everything is going to be okay. Very almost reminiscent of Alec Murdaugh, of just like, well, whatever, well, like, even if you do get in trouble, the system here, we have ways of fixing this to kind of correct it for all of us, is almost how it seems. Yeah, you're right. You don't know how infused it is. I think it's infused in everything, but if you lop off one of the heads down at the bottom of the hydra, it's just going to sprout two more. You got to go for the top.
Yeah.
And you start investigating at the top, and you take out whoever's at the top. And if you see another behavior pop up, well, we got to take out another one. The only way to restructure systems and organizations is you got to redo the leadership infrastructure. Otherwise, you're right. The culture will just maintain itself. It's so challenging in these situations because people become extremely fearful of going against a system because groupthink gets infused in everything. It gets infused in a society where people think this behavior is completely fine, completely normal, and we all just do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that's the way things are. They think that becomes a law. I mean, I've seen it, not to do a tangent, but there's a former FBI agent. His name is Charlie McGonigal.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie McGonigal was a senior executive in the FBI, and he's just been charged and pleaded guilty to taking a lot of money from Albanians, like $250,000, and undermining the Russian sanctions. And this guy worked counterintelligence. I knew him.
Mm-hmm.
And how does that happen? How does a high-level executive think that's okay?
Yeah.
Well, that's a culture. That's a culture that says we can do this. And it shocks people that are inside that culture that I can't do that. Well, everyone else around me is doing that. And I think that's what's going on down here in South Carolina, is that it is part of the culture. I'll be all right because everyone's doing it.
Yeah.
Murdoch can go to jail and feel like $1 million inside jail because you know what? It's all my buddies. My buddies are running the jail. My buddies are in here with me. It's fine.
You're consuming the Hidden Killers podcast.
Want more? Start binging on all of our true crime podcasts right now through Apple Podcasts and get an ad-free experience when you sign up to be a True Crime Today Premium Plus member exclusively on Apple Podcasts.
More of the Hidden Killers podcast dropping soon.
Press subscribe now.